Hi everyone and welcome to Club 1 episode 7 of Rolling in the Isles, an FM20 British Isles Journeyman series with me, the United City FM. So welcome back to this series. I hope you're all well. In terms of what's happened in the last month since you and I were together in game terms, we last were together for Longford on the 13th of March and we got a 2-2 draw, which was, an average result, a bit disappointing. Since then, things picked up quite well for the next few games. We got a couple of decent wins in there, and then belatedly in the last couple of games, it's gone off the boil again slightly. We lost against Drogheda in the League 3-2, and it was a last-minute winner, I think, from them, and that kind of upset us a little bit. We then scrapped a 3-2 win ourselves in the next game against Athlone Town, but then you can see we got absolutely hammered by Wexford. Now, there are a couple of reasons for that. One, I completely rotated the squad and put my second 11 in just because I wanted to keep everybody fit for the league, because we're going well in the league, so I wanted to prioritise that. But two, we just didn't show up. I mean, it was just incredible. Right from the very beginning, nobody played well. Everybody just looked as though they didn't have a clue what was going on, and Wexford took complete full advantage. I tried formation changes and personnel changes and tactical changes, and literally nothing worked all the way through the game, and we got absolutely annihilated. So I was very, very angry with that. I did tell them so at the end of the game, and hopefully that will have sort of reset us slightly. This next match is going to be interesting then, isn't it, as to what sort of reaction we get from that. Either it's completely destroyed any momentum that we got reasonably so over the last month of football, or it will completely motivate them to show back up again, and you've got to worry for University College Dublin, who are the opponents today. So the League Cup is obviously done for this particular season, and that's fine. We've got the Monster Cup, Senior Cup semi-final coming up next against Cork City. I don't hold too much hope about going through in that, just because Cork City are in a league above us, and last time we played them was last season in another cup, and they dominated us quite comfortably, I seem to remember. So yeah, that's what's coming up. In terms of today's match, though, we are against, as I say, University College Dublin, and if we go and have a look at the league table, then you can see where they're sitting currently in 6th, but look at Cobb Ramblers under my leadership sitting comfortably in 2nd at the moment. I say comfortably, it's very tight, isn't it? All the way from top to bottom, really. I mean, there's only 11 points from the top team through to the bottom team after 10 matches played out of the 27 that we play in this particular division. So I think things are going very, very well. You can see that everybody's taking points off everybody, though. That's the thing. So if we can go on a run with some good form, then hopefully we can start to sort of really cement a place in this top 4 for the second half of the season. Obviously, if we don't, if we drop off slightly in our performances and our win column, then we're going to be in trouble, because there's so many teams that can then take over from us. So I think things are going very, very well, though. I'm very happy with it. And let's hope that today's match is no different against the University College of Dublin. So if we go and have a look into our tactics page, you can see that pretty much everybody is fit and healthy as the normal team now, because I've been resting them a little bit, which is why we got so badly beaten in the last game. The only player that's come off the bench is James O'Driscoll, our right-sided cover, or he can play both really, but primarily right-sided midfield cover. Not the biggest loss in the world, is he really? I mean, there's not much about him. But having said that, he still performs a good function to have that cover on the bench. But today, he's lost his place just through being a little bit down in his health and his fitness. And so we've had to bring Cronin on the bench instead. So today's team is Hunt in goal, Edwards at right back, Taylor at left back, O'Riordan and McSweeney in central defence, central midfield line of Turner on the right and Buckley and Hurley in centre, and Power on the attacking midfield line on the left hand side, with Dunn and Dolan up top. Dunn and Dolan still getting the goals between them. You can see that as a 17-year-old, Dolan's now off the mark. He's got a couple of goals recently, which has really improved his confidence, which is good. And you can see he's improving where we need him to. And Dunn continues to be the star of this particular season. 7 goals in 11 games in total, 7.48 average rating, and he's got some assists too. He's our top player of the match award winner so far. So yeah, he's been really the star of the show, along with Ian Turner, who's got 6 assists. So yeah, everything's going pretty well at the moment. Let's get into today's game and see what happens. So in terms of team talk, I didn't really see another option really when I saw it. I had to go with, I expect to see a much better performance from you tonight compared to the last match where we got absolutely thumped. So that got a couple of motivated players, but not as many as I would have hoped for really. But then I guess the reality is most of these didn't actually play in that game, so bit of a mixed bag really. So we go to kick off. We'll see that we're away from home at the University College Dublin stadium today, and we play in our mostly claret with the blue touches, and they're in the light blue tops. So let's see how we get on. Taylor down the left-hand side goes long over the top for Dunn to run onto, but he was sort of too far back on his heels, and the goalkeeper intercepts it and sets up a counter-attack for them. Long shot by them, but it was quite wide, and Hunt in goal wasn't that bothered by it at all, was he really? Didn't even need to move. So that was disappointing for them and quite positive for us, really. We'll let them have those sorts of shots all day long if they're going to kick it that far wide. Sort of 18 minutes gone, second highlight of the game, and it's an opportunity for them again. McClelland down the right hand side, but a good interception by O'Riordan, and Turner comes forward with the ball. Can we keep the ball? No, we can't, and he loses out. And again, McClelland down that left hand side for them, cuts the ball across. There's nobody there, but Taylor's very weak header, and he passes it straight onto McAfee's right foot, I think it was, right foot, and he just volleys it straight into the goal. You can see that McClelland down the left-hand side gets an okay cross in, but it's nothing special. But Taylor, with no shout from any of his colleagues around him, just taps the ball onto the top of the penalty box, really, and it's one of them that happens to be stood there, and he powers the ball home. So we're up against it early on. Again, an opportunity for them down their left-hand side, although they cut it centrally on this occasion and go long over the top for Robinson to chase onto. Can our defence reset? They can't. And from a fairly acute angle, he powers the ball home again. And our defence is just looking really shocking today, considering that whilst we haven't kept too many clean sheets, we've usually looked a lot tighter and a lot more able to stay in games than we currently are. And it looks like the 8-1 thumping that we got in the cup competition has unfortunately had a very negative effect on our motivation and our momentum, doesn't it? So there was a highlight there of some sort that came to nothing. And again, it's Dublin who have the ball down their left-hand side. That's where they're being most dominant. Goes over the top, but again O'Riordan steps in and takes the ball. Can we keep it this time and carve out an opportunity for ourselves? Turner's the guy to do that. Can he cross the ball in? No, he can't. It goes centrally to Buckley, who goes wide left for the left fullback Taylor. Taylor on the shot should have crossed it, probably should have tried to find one of the strikers, but took a pot shot himself and put it over the top. Turner with a free kick, but a bit of a disappointing free kick, doesn't get past the first man, and again Robinson comes out with the ball for Dublin, and they counter-attack us very, very quickly. But on that particular occasion, McCaffrey took the shot and it hit the side netting, and again it was a bit disappointing from them, really, considering how easily they're countering on us at the moment. And we're coming up to the first half, the end of the first half, and it's been very, very disappointing. You can see in terms of match stats here, we're holding our own and we're having opportunities and we're having a reasonable amount of possession, but we're just doing absolutely nothing with it. So it's time to get cross. I'm not going to allow this to carry on. We're going to go in and aggressively we're going to say, well, it's not quite what I wanted, but we're going to say, show me something else in the second half. And then we're going to try and build them up passionately, say, no, I can't say that, can I? You weren't that bad. That's very disappointing option. So we're going to leave that. We're going to come out there and just tell them that we need them to do something better than they were doing. And that's fired up a few of them. So let's get back into the second half. Everybody's fit and healthy enough to just go into the second half. So let's do that. and get ready for some substitutions and maybe some formation and tactical changes if things don't improve. And again, they come down their right-hand side, and that was some hit, wasn't it, on the edge of the box, I think, by Keeney. And yeah, just very slightly wide. Here we go for a chance for ourselves though. Edwards with the throw in down the right hand side into Dunn. I want him in the box, not out wide now really. Buckley into Turner, back to Buckley, shoots and over the top. And again, disappointing on the end result. I guess at least we had one, but very disappointing. Oh dear. I think we're going to have to make some changes, because you can see if we cancel that and pause the game for a second. Look, we're doing much better than they are conditioning wise. You can see that they're beginning to struggle. So hopefully in the last 20 minutes we can take some comfort in that and try and outdo them in the last sort of 20 minutes of the game. But how are we going to do it? Let's go and check out our substitution options. So what have we got? We've got a very poor left back in terms of his average rating. We've got a very poor left-sided. It's all down the left side, isn't it? Down the left-hand side is our problem. So we're going to change both of those, I would suggest. So we'll take Taylor off, and we'll bring Lyons on, and we'll bring Power off, and we'll bring O'Leary on. And then, rather surprisingly, because of how well he's been doing recently, it's Robbie Dunn up top that's letting the side down more than Dolan. Unfortunately, Dolan's nervous, so you get a bit of a pick-em, really. You take the lower rating off, you'll take the nervousness off. I'm going to take the lower rating. Am I? Nope, I've changed my mind. I'm going to take the youngster off who's nervous and try and bring Murphy on, who's scored some goals himself recently, and see if he can sort of steady the ship up top. That's what we're going to do. For now, we're not going to change anything else. We're just going to let those players come in and see whether that makes any difference. It goes over the top to Dunn. Murphy to run onto it. Can he make a difference immediately? He can't quite. Goalkeeper stands up nicely and blocks the shot in the end. But that was good. Good first introduction from Murphy to get on the end of that. We're coming up to 10 minutes to go. Right, let's go. We're going to change a few of our options. So we're going to immediately go very attacking. We're going to change some of our team instructions to go slightly long ball. So we'll take that off, and the passing directness will go extremely direct. Slow down the tempo a little bit so it's not rushed passing. Shoot on sight, and let's see if that changes anything for the last little while. So it's Hurley with the ball in the middle of their half. Goes out wide right to Edwards, who gets a ricochet and very unlucky loses the ball. And again, they counter on us. And that's what they've been doing all the way through this particular match, isn't it? Countering very nicely. But they lose the ball that time. And Edwards onto Turner, who can run into their half again. But nope, we lose the ball. And it's that's consistently happening, unfortunately, in this match. We're losing the ball too easily. Turner gets it back again. Can we do something with it this time? Gets into a dangerous enough position, but again the foot comes in from the opposition midfielders and we lose the ball. Can we regain it, or are they going to get an opportunity? We half regain it, but the loose ball runs to them. They go over the top to Robinson again and boots the ball home, doesn't he? Absolutely wallops it. But apparently it's been disallowed, and I think that they're quite unlucky. I mean, it's not unlucky in the sense of it's offside, that's fair enough, but their play in the initial bit was decent enough, kept getting the challenges in to get the ball back again, and they're going to absolutely cream us on this one, aren't they? 3-0, there you go. I could see it coming, I could feel it coming, and we have not been anywhere near them, and that's so disappointing. Our form was so good until the last couple of matches where we had an unfortunate loss, and then the latest loss, which was dreadful against Wexford. And of course, I now see that it was an error of judgment to change my side so much for the cup game. But I would hope that the two wouldn't be attached so much, that we would have gone out in the cup, everybody would have moved on, and seen that our league form was good enough to be motivated for this match. But look at that. That's just shocking. The only player that played anywhere near his potential was Turner, who kept trying but just couldn't get the right passes through. Everybody else was just absolutely dreadful. So aggressively, I'm far from pleased with that result. And it's only motivated about half of them. That's just terrible too. So I think in the next couple of games, I'm going to have to play about with the team a little bit and just see who's up for the fight, really, because we do not want to start drifting down the table if we can help it. I mean, look, if I finished in 6th again this season, considering the preview for the season said we would finish bottom, then you have to take it. But once you're up in these sort of positions, I really would love to be able to maintain a top 4 finish. And so that's what the intention for me is for the rest of the season, to try and make that happen. And we can still do it. I mean, we're on a blip at the moment, but we can still do it. But we need to change that league form again and get some more wins on the board. So that's the intention for the next couple of games. Poor finishing costs. Yeah, you see, that was the problem, wasn't it? The strikers just weren't on form on that particular day. So that leaves us in 3rd place after the 11th match in the league table, which is still great. But, you know, we need to start improving. We've got Cork City, who really do have the potential to absolutely thump us again in the cup competition. So I'm going to have to play that one quite cutely, I think. In terms of the next episode that we're going to come back for, what are we going to do? I think we're going to come back and play Cabinteely, just because if we go back to the league table, they're sitting top at the moment. So, yeah, we're going to come back and play Cabinteely next. And probably after that, it will probably be someone like Drogheda, because they're sitting in 2nd, but depends on where we all are at the point that we get to it in the following episode. But join me again for Cabinteely if you can. In between time, I've got a couple of First Division matches that hopefully we can get a few goals in and start to look a bit better, so we get some confidence leading up to that really big top of the table crunch game against Cabinteely. So yeah, as I say, I hope you're joining me for it. If you're enjoying this series so far, why not subscribe to the channel, keep up to date with the videos. If you like this particular episode, then why not click that like button for me, help me get seen by other people. It's really important for the growth of my channel. If you're playing Football Manager yourself, let me know how you're getting on in the comments below. But until next time, take care of yourselves. I will see you soon, and bye for now.